Wow, this lighting sucks. Is there a way around that? I don't think there's a way around that. Okay, well, hello, Crime Stoppers. A lovely thumbnail from way up on the mountain, and it doesn't show the beautiful roadsteads of Malaya and off in the distance. You should be able to see Lanai and Molokai, but no can because of the lighting. Anyway, I got a lot to cover. Haven't been on for a while. Oh my goodness. Lawsuits are flying. Lots of fun stuff happening. So I just want to cover a few things, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in this light, like I said. Let's see here. Let's start with this. This should be my cover photo, actually. So this is happening. I don't know if you can see all of that. And if you can't see all of that, austinmeetinggroup.com will have details. It's the super conference. They're having a super conference at the Austin Meeting Group, or the Austin Meeting Group coming to Maui. Look all the details. And I'll try and find the link where you can get the link to this flyer. But there should be, I don't know, 40 to 70 people here. You want to learn all the stuff that I know. These guys will be doing seminars. And you'll be able to purchase them on, afterwards, like it's live stream. If you can't come, you can get the pre-record or re-recorded or recorded broadcasts of whatever they're doing. It should be a fun time though. Anyway, there's all the people that are speaking. There's all that. Yeah, and like I said, you can hit pause and look it over. All right, so let's get started. So much to do, and like I said, it's gonna be a little difficult in here. I need more light. Yeah, no way. I can't read this. Well, maybe I can read it. There, I bought lots of show and tell. This right here, there is one of your main solutions, vitamin C. And then, of course, this couldn't hurt nothing either. And this is just stuff I went to Costco and bought some. This is not as good as some of the other brands, as it turns out. Nature Made is probably better. My sons have been taking fish oil since they were little boys. So, and they chew it. Like I don't chew my fish oil, but they chewed them because, anyway, so they're used to the flavor. And they tell me that this is not as good as the Nature Made and the other ones. Also, here's another fun thing. Found this at Costco. Did a Costco thing. Soursop, more potent for you than chemotherapy when it comes to fighting cancer. Soursop juice, but I mean, and these are pretty delicious. This taste, if you know what soursop is, they taste like you would expect dried soursop to taste like. And they're pretty sweet, so pretty delicious. And the ingredients, soursop, right? And let's see, what else? Anything else in there? Cane sugar. Oh, that's why. And sodium, what? And my trusty magnifying glass. Sodium metabolite. All right. All right, so let's get this party started. Here's something you might want to take a look at. Criminal complaints, AO 91. So anyway, here's Title 18. Turns out this is an important title to read. This talks about being non-substant and how to do documents and so forth. Oh, look, it's the Title 28. And there's two editions of this. They're the ones upstairs. But between the two of these is one you want to know. And here's a word you want to, a term you want to know, which is non-immigrant alien. Especially if you're in Hawaii and you was born here before 1959, or you had parents that were born here before there was the corporation that took over the Kingdom of Hawaii, that corporation known as United States. Oh, here's the other thing. I have DUNS numbers, which I'll be sharing in in abundance. Do I have them here handy? Oh, here's some books that I went over. I'll get to the Dunn's numbers in just a second. But here's a fun one. How to design Tesla coils. How to fool around with Tesla coils. And then there's another one. It's a good book to read. You might want to take a look at. Just, if you're interested in devices that make energy. If you're not, then skip it. And then here's a cute little manual. It's got fun stuff in here. Well, and a few illustrations and what the hell was he doing? Right? Because turns out some people have figured out that we are the remnants of a greater civilization. And that civilization wasn't gajillions of years ago or 12,000 years ago. That civilization was just a few hundred years ago, and they managed to erase it from our minds. Let's put it that way. Anyway, the way we're doing electricity and energy right now is foolish and silly. All right. It all blends together with the fact that we have this corporation, multiple corporations, and we are ruled by corporations. I have no facts or evidence that the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. I'm not going to speak English. The Federal Code of Civil Procedure. Wait a minute. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. There you go. I can read and speak English almost. Apply to the living man. If you have facts or evidence that these apply to other than the corporate fictions and the corporations, please provide them. Anyhow, you still need to put your stuff in there. What is it? Psalms 119 in a form that they can understand. So it's good to have these rules and written down so that you can follow them. This one right here, kind of an important one. This is the 5th edition. I like 4th better, but 5th also good. Go thumb through this and look up the term Borg just for fun. B-O-R-G. That'll be fun. And one last thing. Well, no, actually, I have many more than this. Oh, look. There it is. Copyrighted and everything. But there's your UCC. It's online, by the way. And then there's this one that isn't thick enough, but this is the guy that screwed things up. And he knew it and he lamented it. But yeah, one of the editions you might want to look into. Okay, there's all the right. Those are books that you need because you got to know what the words mean. If you're gonna do any of this stuff, you need to know what the words mean. I was just reading. What the hell was I just reading? It was, and it started off, and I didn't know the words. Simple as that. Wait, let me find it. I just was doing this. And I'll even put it here. Oh, not that one. This one. There you go. I'll put a link in. The Fines and Recoveries Act of 1833 starts out with certain words like estate lands, base fee, estate tail, T-A-I-L, actual tenant entail, tenant entail, tenant entail entitled to a base fee. I don't know what an estate tail is, and I didn't know what a tenant entail was. I didn't know what the tails were. I didn't know what the heck that meant. It's kind of hard to read the laws if you don't know what the words mean. And I'll tell you what, I'll even put it here just for you guys. You can click on it and take a look. This is the Fine and Recoveries Act of 1833. Eventually, it will become clear to you why it's important. But you should know, I mean, like all this stuff, they don't hide anything from us, but they make it so voluminous and convoluted that it's difficult to keep up. All right, where are you guys? Back here. There it is. And let me put it down here. Link to that. There you go. Okay. And of course, let's put Kirk's library up. He has added a couple of things. And I have to say, again, and Kurt was going over this, I think, on last Monday, a couple of days ago. The Treatise on False Arrest and Imprisonment, yeah, kind of a must-read. Kind of, you should know what's in there. It basically tells you, in no uncertain terms, that the Congress has no ability to legislate, abrogate, expand, contract, do anything to our fundamental rights. They can do nothing but write, if they were going to write legislation or codes and statute that apply, and codes come from the bar, statute comes from our legislatures. There is no ability for them to alter, abrogate, abridge, alienate, lean, or otherwise affect your basic fundamental God-given rights. They don't have the authority to do so without a contract. You have to sign something that's signed, and even then, it's still fraud. Anyway, so a treaty on arrest and false imprisonment, and that's, you should like memorize the fucking thing. And then the authority of law. There's another one. And then get through the legal maxims. I spend time constantly on legal maxims. Okay, you want to be ignorant and free? You want what never has been and never will be. Simple. Okay, let's see here. Shall I go over a few more of these? Oh, look, got a friend of mine to order this because it's word fair and grammar fair that they're doing against you. And then there's this. And I can tell you that I am not party to this suit, but a suit went in the Federal District Court of Hawaii, the United States Federal District Court. The case is Jarrett v. Ige. And yeah, state courts, you're not going to get remedy there. Simple as that. And that comes from Taj Bay tells you that the state courts are not lawful courts because they're not. And it's going to be very difficult to get equity or remedy out of state courts. Let's see here. These are my notes. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over another woman's notes, and they're lovely. And I'm not going to mention her name. I have permission to use the material, though, without mentioning her name. And I won't even show you the book. Well, I'll show you a little bit of the book I'm reading from, but I may have to change glasses, and I may have to move someplace where there's freaking light. Uh-oh, there it is. Okay. So in this composition notebook, very lovely writing, which I can't read to save my life in this light, we have DUNS numbers for various corporations, which you may have heard of. Let's start off with the American Bar Association. Would you like to have the... And see, sad, I don't have a whiteboard to write on. So you'll just have to slow it down and run it back. But I'll try to speak slowly and clearly English. American Bar Association's DUNS number is 050573591. They're all 9-digit numbers. If you don't have a 9-digit number, if they don't have all 9, then you're either missing a number or you need more. U.S. District Court of Hawaii, 0126-483-95. That's 0126-483-95. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 digits. Let's see here. How about State of Hawaii? State of Hawaii is 07. Just State of Hawaii. The State of Hawaii. Your state also has a DUNS number, by the way. State of Hawaii DUNS number. Now, and if you don't understand why this is important, you might want to sulfur. And meditation will help. State of Hawaii, their DUNS number, 077-676-997. That's State of Hawaii, 077-676-997. That's the DUNS number for the State of Hawaii. They are a corporation. They are not a non-taxable, not-for-profit government entity. They are a private corporation, privateering. County of Maui is a subsidiary of State of Hawaii, and their DUNS number is 077680155. How about the United States? I could not find this DUNS number. This lady right here, with her lovely composition notebook and taking notes and doing her research, did discover DUNS number. Oh, in fact, you know what, bro? Here's what I'm gonna do. More easy than this. I got them here. But United States DUNS number. This is the one you want. This is Mama here. This is Mama Bear right here, or maybe it's Papa Bear. I don't know. 0527-141-196. 052714-196. So write 9 in threes. 052714-196. United States DUNS number. Been looking for that for years. Have another friend been looking for that for years. Making a video about it. Maybe they'll delete this, but still, I've been getting strikes. Is the other thing. They go back. The Internal Revenue Service, who wants to make pretend that they're a government entity or some other. No. IRS. Excuse me. It's Department of the Treasury. IRS is the official name. 040-539-587. You might want to let them know that you're non-decedent and you know that they're a private corporation with which you have no contract, because at United States of America, it's either common law or contract. That's it. We've made it far too fucking complicated. Common law or contract. If they don't have contract with you, and that's what I've been doing with my happy little red pen. Oh, must tell you this story. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm getting there. And I now have seen with my own little eyes, global entry pass and the State Department passport that basically reflects the fact that you're the living man or woman. I've seen it with my own eyes now. Apparently the global pass takes it's a global entry, and it looks just like a little driver's license. I don't have one. Well, kind of like a driver's license, but anyway, allows you to enter ports without hassle. But before we go down that road, and before I tell you one of my yet another fun story. Oh, look, I'll just hold this up to the screen and you can screenshot it. And I'm 90% sure these are correct. Like, we double check them and so forth, but there could be transcription errors. If they're other than that, they're correct. So, and look, it just goes on and on. We got them all. We have them now. These are private corporations. You are ruled by private corporations. You are considered chattel property of private corporations. You are considered to have contracts and agreements with private corporations. They presume that they rule over you. You're welcome. But I'm telling you, sulfur, the fish oil, a good fish oil. Oh, shit. Do I have one? I do not. There's an MCT oil that you can get also, and I don't have it with me. I'd have to go run upstairs or something. And yeah, you could use that also. But and there's just regular old freaking coconut oil along with the sulfur and so forth will help your brain. Okay. Anyway, there are all of them. Take a screenshot. I'm trying to hold it still and get it close. Take a screenshot. Take another screenshot. Okay. Their Achilles heel, my friends, is the fact that they're corporations. Not just any corporation, limited liability corporations. They have bonds. All right, now, maybe I change my glasses. Hey, I know I bought them. What do I do? Ow! So I definitely won't be able to read without glasses. Then I put them here. Then I put them there. Put them here. I have all my notes and stuff. It's like that Rod Sterling, where the guy is all ready to go through eternity by himself. He saves all his books, and then he doesn't have the glasses. All right. Oh yeah, they're there. Okay, so let's get rid of these. Oh, wow, you look intellect with your glasses. I always enjoy that one, my friends. All right, so let's see here. Oh, there's the Dun & Bradstreet numbers. Let's not go there. Let's go here first. Yeah, the illegal contracts and your illegal. Anyway, this lady's writing is lovely. And she has a bunch of words that she, a glossary of terms that she, and remember, terms and words are not same. That she wrote so that she would know what they're like. Quo warranto, and she just put, what's the cause? Void ab initio, void from inception. You know these. Treason is betraying one's country. Amicus curiae, a friend of the court. Let's see here. Magna Carta, the big charter. Cartel, little charter. Abrogation of rights. Renouncing one's own kingdom or nation. No, wait. Abjuration of the realm. There you go. Sorry, not abrogation of rights. I was thinking of another thing. Anyway, read what the words say. Abjuration of rights means renouncing one's own kingdom or nation. Anyway, there's a bunch of terms here, and I wanted to read you this. Actually, I wanted to read this whole thing. There's some freaking great stuff in here. She talks about why the Duns and Bradstreet's numbers. Now I'm going to skip over that. I'm going to skip over this. And then here's all of her. See, we transcribed the Dun and Bradstreet numbers, which I just showed you. Oh, here we go. Okay, so here it is. An official, officer, or clerk will not be bonded. Okay, so they can't have a bond, and if they don't have a bond, they can't work. It's as simple as that. They can't get paid. They can't have an emolument. Let's see. If he uses the power of his or her public office or his position in that office or his power of enforcement to A, harass or oppress a citizen, or B, to create obstacles to prevent a citizen from exercising his or her remedies by the due course of law. Okay, probably they're not going to do that. But you'll see that number 2, if he deprives or hinders a citizen in the free exercise of rights guaranteed by the Constitution or of the state into which the officer's work takes him. There's gold right there. That's there it is. There's their Achilles heel. They cannot be bonded if they're depriving or hindering you of your rights. And understand, rights are too numerous to list. You can't number your rights. The rights in the Constitution are just like a few of them, right? The freedom of speech, for example. How many of them are abrogating your free speech rights? What?
I caught a bird.
How'd you catch him?
I caught him.
You just caught him?
He was in the chicken coop, so I grabbed him and take him out.
Okay. Sorry, I got distracted. My oldest boy caught a turtle dove with his hands, and he was showing it to me. It's alive, and then he's going to let him go. We're surrounded by like turkeys and deer and all kind of stuff over here. We're what's called upcountry on Maui, toward Ulupalakua, in the Fortress of Solitude. I try to take a picture of it. That's the cover photo for this, but it doesn't show up well because it's too bright and it shows. But I mean, it's a beautiful view, and the sunsets are insane. Let's see here. Getting back to this before I was derailed. Okay, so again, bonded. So you got to know the insurer. You have to know the surety, the company that writes the bonds, the underwriter. You need their name, the name of the bonding company, or the name of the insurance company that writes the bonds for everybody in your courts, in your state, wherever you are, to include your governor, your mayor, any of the police officers. See, in Hawaii or on Maui, the Maui County Police Department is a subsid of the County of Maui, which is a private corporation with DUNS number 077680155. All right. So there's no question anymore that these are private corporations. Corporations cannot deal with living men and women. They can only deal with other corporations, which is why they unlawfully convert you into a corporate person so that you can be dealt with by the corporate entities known as State of Hawaii, United States, etc. Not the United States of America, just United States. Okay, let's see here. We're at number 3. If he or she interferes in a citizen's U.S. constitutional first so-called amendment, A, legislative rights or freedom of religion, indicative rights of freedom of speech and freedom of the press, exclusive rights to peaceably assemble and petition the government for redress of grievances. They in this state, they told people that they couldn't get together on Easter Sunday. The charge is treason. And most people are too chicken shit to file the charge because there's only a penalty for treason if found guilty. Let's see here. Shall I continue? The bottom line is you got to know who to talk to and what to say. And now that I know who to talk to and what to say, they won't invite me into their courts. As you know, if you've been watching this channel, the last time I went to court, they wouldn't let me in the court. They literally had big men stand in the way, so I couldn't get in the court. However, I did deliver them a little document that basically said, hey, I'm a man, and I'll read it to you. Do I have it here? Yes, I do. Yeah. All right. See, and I don't need the original. I gave them the originals. Why did I give them the original? Because they can't, all they can do is make a copy. They can't make an original in my writing. They can make copies of my writings and notices, but they can't make an original because they can't write like I do, because I'm the only one that has that little mark right there. There's an LS there. See, I didn't put the LS. I should have put LS, which is here lies the seal. But my signatures from now on, or my endorsements from now on, have three parts. My autograph, my fingerprint, and my raised seal. Those three elements aren't there, you got an agreement. You certainly don't have a contract. All right, so let's see here. This was one I sent to the IRS, I believe. Yeah, IRS Ogden, Utah. Okay, and the IRS is your linchpin, my friends. So you need to send 3 of these, as I've said numerous times. If you watched my videos, you got to let it season 3 times. You got to let them know. You got to tell them. You got to tell them again, and then you got to tell them that you told them twice. Please correct your records to reflect the following. Right? I am Ben Hosea. Ben Hosea is man. Ben Hosea am I. I, man. I can find no evidence that Ben Hosea, the living man, is the same as the legal fiction who I am authorized to represent and for whom I act as agent, namely, get it? And then I put all the things that are on my birth certificate in all capital letters: Ben Hosea, Ben H, Rogers, Ben Hosea, Rogers, Ben H, Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H Rogers, etc. Okay, that's me. Crouton Ramon, that's an Enlegis. It's a living individual. And see, living individual might not mean what you think it means. And then I go on a little bit more. I'm non-decedent. My individual master files should read, blah, blah, blah. I sent another note that basically let them know that I was the living man before this. Let's see here. In the court, I let the court know that I reserve all rights. I appear specifically or especially, not generally, to resolve any matter, blah, blah. Okay. But again, I put that I'm a man. Produce a corpus delicti in any case going forward. There needs to be an injured party. Otherwise, it's fraud. Anyway, I just basically, let them know. Give them notice. Okay. I have more notice that I'm going to send them. But the bottom line is you got to let them know that you're a living person, and that your ID does not reflect the fact that you're a living person. Your ID, generally your identification, tells them that you're a sumsit, and you're not a sumsit. You're non-a-sumsit. And if you don't know what that means, you should know what that means. You have no duty to perform for these corporations. And the people in the corporation, they can write whatever they want, right? The statutes. And the guys in the bar, they can write whatever codes they want, but they don't apply to the living man without contract. Period. That's it. End of sentence. Let's not make this thing too fucking complicated. It's pretty simple. You either have a contract or you don't. And they don't. And if they do, it was fraud, because you wouldn't have signed away your rights if you knew you were signing away your rights. I hope. But most people, it's pathetic. And they go through. Oh, here's a book I've read since you've last seen me. I recommend it, by the way. On deck for reading. I haven't read it yet. Oh, here's a good one. Don't worry, I'll get there. Actually, pretty good. Jordan Peterson. Made my oldest boy read that one. Oh, here's 3 that you really want. These are worth your time to get. You can get them on Amazon, believe it or not. But these 3. And they're super short and sweet. I mean, just straight to the point. Lovely. What I've been talking about here. All right. So get these 3. Could even enter them as evidence. Let's see here. Oh, well. That's a sidebar right there. Doesn't hurt anything to know. And then here's what I'm talking about. Look at this freaking behemoth right here. Right? Okay, so what is this? This is this is Redemption Manual, Volume 5, like Part 3 of 4. I mean, and they're all this thick. All right. Should you know some of the information that's in here? Or a lot of the information that's in here? Absolutely, you should. But again, we've just made it way too complicated. But you do have to do proof of claims. You do have to understand statements of facts. You do have to understand how to get them to respond to you, or well, they're going to stand silent most likely. But prove your claims. You fucking think we have a contract? Prove it, right? Produce the contract, or obligation, or whatever other statute or evidence or whatever you have upon which you rely that says you and I have a contract or an agreement. Because we don't. All right. And then, how to write certain documents. Oh, yes. All right. So, and I don't have it. Do I have it here? I do not have it here. It's upstairs. It's a book like this. And it's upstairs. It's USC Title 8. So here's the word you want, or here's the term you want, which is the non-resident alien. I talked about this at the very beginning of the video, but now we got a couple people here. But non-resident alien. Excuse me. Incorrect. That's another term. The term I'm thinking of is non-immigrant alien. You didn't immigrate, especially Hawaiians. Hawaiians didn't immigrate. They're already here. Pretty simple. Same thing with me. I didn't immigrate into Illinois. I was born there. So I'm not an immigrant into the country. I'm alien to this United States corporation that is Admiralty. And we like Admiralty, by the way. That's another thing that the sovereign citizens, which is a complete oxymoron. If you're a sovereign, you're not a citizen. And if you're a citizen, you're not sovereign. But the idea is that they had the ability. We gave them Admiralty. We gave them control over the waters. And they brought the waters onto the land 10 square miles in a place called Washington, D.C. And if you take a look at all the stuff that's on the 10 square miles of Washington, D.C., you'll begin to see a few, right? Here's our obelisk, right? It's like, that's them playing Risk and marking their territory. We got this, we call it the Washington Monument. The Temple of Liberty is also in Washington, D.C. We call that the state capitol, we call that the national capital, right? They were victims of insurrection recently. Anyway, the point being is that capital and that 10 square miles is lots of water runs through it, rivers and so forth, which run to the sea. And that's where they're claiming their Admiralty jurisdiction. Now, Admiralty and maritime, basically the same thing. But with Admiralty, you hold them to their oaths, and under Admiralty law, they can get into serious trouble. Now, how do you hold them to their oaths? Well, first, you accept their oaths and emoluments. That's step one. And then step two is you need to inform them specifically of what they've done, right? So that it violates your rights. So, rules and orders that tell you that you can't assemble, well, that obviously violates your First Amendment right to freedom of assembly. Any kind of gun control laws, gun control that they have, Second Amendment violations. Anyway, you have many examples that you can write down that lets them, violations of due process, etc., that you can write down that say, hey, these rights were violated by your code or by your statute. And when you do that, you now their claim to immunity and sovereign immunity and their limited liability goes out the window, because once you inform them that they violated your rights, and they don't respond, especially if they have violated, and all the Rona shit that they've done violates your rights, restricts your movement, restricts your ability to shop. I mean, on and on. Restricts your ability to peacefully assemble, restricts your ability to worship. That's just the First Amendment. Like I said, your rights are innumerable. They're too numerous to name. That's just a few of them. Your Fifth Amendment rights. all those rights have been abrogated by their rules and orders or whatever dictates they have. And see, here's the thing, one more time, make it clear or get it through your heads. They don't have the ability to do anything to your unalienable rights. They may not expand them, they may not decrease them, they have that's off limits. And once again, let's put it here. Let me put the link. There you go. Oops. Right there. So if you go there, there's the Works Library, and then there's the treatise on arrest and false imprisonment. And it pretty much outlines it pretty clearly that the legislatures may not fuck with your rights. Period. They can't give you rights and they can't take them away because they're not, they don't have any rights to give you. Your rights come from God Almighty, from God. Okay, you are a child of God. You are not a child of the state. The state didn't create you. God created you. Well, your mom and dad created the vessel, and this is a whole other thing. And currently, that's well above my pay grade when we talk about the body and the vessel. And your vessel just appearing in court makes it so that you might be understanding them. And if you understand them, you are subject to them. So you need to make, with your mouth, some declarations, or better yet, on paper, and not show up in their courts, letting them know that, no, you're not subject to their authority. And if they think that they can administer your estate, then they need to produce proof of claim. How is it that they think that they can administer your estate without contract or without right? And if they claim the right, produce the obligation upon which they rely. All right, so we're in now half an hour. Would you like to hear a story? So I have this beater car that I bought for $850. It was great. Because a while ago, I've been trying to get the Fiji. It just keeps getting pushed off further and further. Fiji is currently closed. But see, if I had the right ID, if I had that global entry pass, Fiji wouldn't be closed to me because I have global entry, and they wouldn't be able to keep me out. But bottom line is, it's like being an ambassador. It's similar to, bottom line is, still not in Fiji. But I got this crappy car because I was thinking that, well, if this thing lasts for 6 months, great, right? Just need an A to B, be able to get groceries and stuff like that. Not trying to pick up chicks, right? Not cruising on the boulevard or anything. It's just a beater, Malibu Pugsley, I called him, which should give you a clue as to the condition of that car. I parked it wherever the hell I wanted because I wasn't worried about anybody running into it or, opening doors on it and so forth. It was a great car to have. Never washed it once in the time I owned it. I think I vacuumed it out once. Anyhow, Malibu Pugsley finally gave up the ghost. And actually, he didn't give up the ghost. I probably could have fixed him for a few $100, but I'm out of here. I'm heading to parts unknown. And having a car, I either needed to sell it, and I couldn't sell it in good conscience, or I needed to junk it. All right. Here, they've turned it into a total racket to junk your car. So I go down to this place called Hammerhead Recycling. They want a valid ID, and they got it in big letters all over the place. Valid ID required, blah, blah, blah. All right. So I go down there with my valid expired ID, but it was valid at the time. It's now expired, which shows them that we have no contract. I have no contract with Maui County. I have no contract with state of Hawaii. I have no contract with the United States. The only contract that I would have had, my passport, has also expired. So I have not rescinded a fucking thing. They just all naturally expired. All right. So now when I go into And this is the way I'm doing it. This is not the way you have to do it. You don't have to sit around and wait for your shit to expire. You can rescind signatures and so forth, especially if you didn't realize that you were waiving rights or anyway, coming under their jurisdiction or making them presume that you had a duty to perform for when they write their statutes. You didn't wear your seatbelt, you owe us money. You rolled through that stop sign, you owe us money. You were talking on yourself, you owe us money. You didn't wear your mask, you owe us money. Right? Okay, those are called bills of attainder. And see, we have been dumbed down as muggles in the education system that they provided for us so that they can abrogate our rights because we're so fucking ignorant, we don't know what our rights are. So how do you stand up for them? Now, you violated you don't know what your rights are. So you don't even know the definition of the word. I would go pick up this book right here and read the section on rights. It's a rather lengthy entry because there are so many kinds of rights. There are what is it? The corporal and incorporeal. There are tangible and intangible. Your property rights, the rights to your physical property. That's one kind of right, but there's also right to, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Those are a little more intangible, but you still have them as rights. Anyhow, so I cruise down there, and the tow truck company, I'm supposed to meet them. They towed off the property. They did it on Friday. The last thing we said to each other was, all right, I'll meet you down at the recycling place at 9:00 on Monday morning. Okay. So I show up at 9:00. Of course, they're not there. It's Maui time. So 9:15, 9:20, 9. So when you check into the recycling place, if you're going to recycle a car or whatever, you have to have these forms, which I don't have. Basically, what they're doing is stealing your bond. But so I had the forms, but I didn't have the car. And the guy's all, well, where's the car? And I'm like, well, it'll be here. They're going to deliver it. He goes, okay, well, wait over there. And when they come, we'll process the stuff. Meantime, I leave him my expired driver's license. So they look at my expired driver's license and, oh, this guy's naughty. We're going to call the cops on him. So I'm sitting in my truck. Not my truck, my friend's truck. The guy that's Jarrett V. Ige, the guy that's suing the governor and a few others in the United States District Court. And by the way, there's not going to be any remedy there. There's not going to be any remedy there. There's not going to be any remedy there. These courts are private corporations. All they did was write 21 bonds on him. When he found out that and the way they did that was through a bunch of subterfuge and sophistry and fraud. They basically changed the case just a little bit, changed the name on the case, and they wrote more bonds based on his signature, 21 of them. He found them because I showed him how to look up his bonds. I've showed you how to look up your bonds, going over to the Treasury direct account. Anyhow, so I'm sitting there waiting for the tow truck company to show up. And finally, it's like, fuck, they don't show up. It's like 9:25. All right, I give them a half an hour, basically. So I book over to the place where you sign in when you first come into the recycling center. And I mean, this is a big place, and it's great. They got all this equipment that's like smashing stuff and tearing it apart. And there's this one equipment operator who's great because he like picks stuff up and tosses it here, picks it up and tosses it there with the arm. Anyway, I was like a little kid watching them just destroy shit. Vehicles and all kind of various things made out of metal that they were shredding up to recycle. So I call them up and they're like, oh, sorry, we're supposed to be down there. Yeah, we'll be there in like 15 minutes or whatever. Anyway, sit tight and we'll be there in a minute. All right, fine. So in that amount of time, a lovely police cruiser pulls up right next to my car because Hammerhead, seeing that my driver's license was expired and it's not a valid ID, decided that they would call the police on me, the policy enforcers. They're not really police, they're policy. That's how you pronounce that word. Okay, so they pull up, and I'm in the car, and on the side of the truck it says Jarrett Construction or whatever, and the phone number. All right, so they know who that guy is. They apparently know what I look like because when the one police officer cruised around my car, like they pulled up right next to me. The way the parking structure is, they couldn't pull up on this side because there was stuff in the way. I parked right here. There's 3 parking spaces. I pulled here. They pulled up right next to me. Like I couldn't, if you were a passenger, you wouldn't have been able to open your door. You pulled up so close. Okay, but the cop gets out without banging my car, and I can see him because I'm looking in this nice big mirror, and he heads around the back of my car, and his partner heads around the front of my car. Okay, his partner sees me and literally does this when he sees me sitting in the front. And then they go around the back. He immediately flips a bitch and turns around the other way. He decides he's not going to walk in front of the car or in front of my truck or in my rig that I'm in. So the two of them go over and talk to the guys over at. They walk into the office where I checked in and left my ID. And then they come back outside, and I can just barely hear them. And see, I'm so fucking ignorant. When they first pulled up, I figured, oh, the cops just showed up for whatever reason, something, a call. I didn't think it was for me. And then I hear them talking, and I realize, wait a minute, these cops are here for me. I'm like, all right. And I don't have it with me, but I've showed it to you before. I have my red pen and my happy little Without Prejudice UCC 1308 stamp sitting there, right, just ready for them to write me whatever you do your damnedest, and I'll stamp it and no contract, and we'll have a lovely day. Instead, they're having a conversation, which I can barely hear because of all the equipment and shit being torn apart. And they had called in because they literally didn't know what to do. Right. So they were calling in for guidance to the charging officer, because they got the call and there's the dispatch, but then there's the charging officer that's going to say, yeah, write them this charge, or, put this charge on a ticket. They call back, and I'm now listening, right, to hear what they have to say. And damn it, right when the guy calls back, because you can, they got the radio on their shoulder. They start tearing apart this truck, or this I don't know what it was, but I mean this large piece of equipment, and they're using these machines to just like shred it. Okay, which is kind of loud, so I can't hear what the guys are saying because they're kind of a ways away in the parking lot. All I can see is the guy listening to the thing, and then they all laugh, the three of them, and then the police officers, and I'm looking at them. The police officers, I will say, they never even nothing, no threatening, no, they didn't a lot of times they'll freaking stink eye you or whatever. They didn't even look in my fucking direction. They walk back to their car, get in the car, and drive away. The guy from Hammerhead comes out, motherfucker that called the cops on me, and now he's just as sweet as can be, right? And he's like, "Oh, here's your ID," and basically wants me to get out of there. Right? They've got my car, they've got my bond, and understand there's a bond on that car that they've written with the title and so on. And they mosey away. Drive away. Never once spoke to me, didn't engage me, didn't attempt to contract with me, didn't introduce themselves, didn't fucking look in my direction. Okay, I am obviously there in a vehicle. We're in what's called the Central Maui Base Yard, where it's a heavy industrial park with that major recycling center. I mean, lots of big equipment, trucking companies, all kind of commercial stuff, masonry, base yards for construction companies, etc. I didn't get there by walking, and I'm sitting in a truck. Right? Okay, so they know I don't have a driver's license that's valid, and they drove away. They didn't try to arrest me. They didn't write me a ticket. They didn't talk to me. They didn't say fucking boo. All right. The reason for that is not because, all right, I'm not green listed, I'm blacklisted, and you don't want to be blacklisted. Blacklisted means, because they'll tell you that, he's he, and the he I'm referring to is me, is a threat. They won't tell you. See, now when you're a police officer and you carry a gun and you're involved in domestic violence, which is another misnomer, which you can learn about from Kirk's Law Corner, assaults and batteries, various squabbles between husbands and wives, and other men who are drunk at the beach or whatever, and they got together and they want to fight. They're involved in that kind of stuff. A threat probably will mean something else to them. What they mean on paper is that, yeah, I know how to sue their bonds now. I know what to say in court, that I'm appearing, especially not generally. And then you've got my fee schedule, which is $1 a second. I'm the living man. If you call me down to your courts to appear, I will appear under duress because I don't want to be kidnapped, because if I don't show up, they could kidnap me. And by the way, the penalty for kidnap, yeah, death, murder, death, rape, death, abortion, death, bearing false witness against your neighbor, death. The biggies all come with death penalty. And see, this is the thing. You were supposed to be in a polite and civilized society. You were supposed to know the naughty no-nos that you didn't do. You don't lie. You don't cheat. You don't steal. You don't fuck another man's wife. Simple as that. And especially don't fuck another man's wife if she doesn't want you to fuck her. That's called rape. And if you do, you die. Right? We don't slap your wrist and let you go. You fucking die. That's the way the common law is supposed to work in this country. You can see how the Satanists have gotten far, far away from this because raping children is now going unpunished, basically. Okay. Sorry, I got off on a little tangent there. But the idea being is that it's supposed to be a very short list, not this fucking 10,000 statutes that you're subject to. You trapped rainwater in the wrong container. You put gas in the back of your car in the wrong container. I mean, fuck. But the bottom line is I'm blacklisted. I'm considered a threat to them. They're not sure what kind of threat that means. Am I armed and dangerous? I don't think it says armed and dangerous because I'm not armed and dangerous. I don't carry a firearm with me in this state. In other states, I might have Montana, Idaho, Washington, Nevada, Wyoming, states like that. Yeah, probably might have a firearm with me. And the police just expect you. And they even, when they pull you over on the side of the road, they'll ask you, are you carrying a firearm or do you have a firearm with you? Got a gun? And I'm like, no. Like crossing the border. You guys have any guns? No. Into Canada. But the idea being is that I'm not that kind of threat. The kind of threat, the kind of threat that I am is the threat to their bonds, the threat to their not being able to work because, what did I just do with it? There it is. Of what this, see, there is their Achilles heels, my friend, or their Achilles heel. Their Achilles heel is the fact that they're limited liability companies that are bonded. Oh, the light in here is horrible. I have to work on that. But the idea being is that it's lovely. Well, I'm not gonna. I mean, just look at this writing. Just lovely writing. Beautiful writing. But cursive. And basically what this does is tell you all the different ways that they can wind up fucking up their bonds. If you know what to do and who to complain to. Because if they violate your fundamental inalienable rights, the insurance company will not bond them. Simple as that. And if they won't bond them, they can't work. They have to have bonds. That's the Achilles heel. And there's a due process that you must go through in order to tap their bonds. And you have to use judicial, notarial protest method or administrative procedure. There you go. Where you do notice, right? The devil gives notice, right? Gentlemen all give notice. You must give notice. So the first thing you do is give notice. The next thing you do is notice them that you've given them notice and that they have defaulted on that notice, usually after 30 days, depending. I can go through the different things, and I've done it in other videos where if it's criminal, it's 21 days. Criminal, it's 10 days. Administrative, it's 21 days. So anyway, common law, it's generally 30 days. So give them 30 days. If you want to rush it, you can rush it. But if you rush them, they get to rush you, right? So tit for tat. So if you only give them 10 days, they can only give you 10 days. And 10 days is not very, right? And I have discovered a new minor detail. The courts are always open. There's always a magistrate. They're supposed to take you to a magistrate. They're not supposed to take you to a police jail cell. They're supposed to take you before a magistrate. So there's a whole thing about arrest without warrant and so on, right? They can't just arrest you. They do it all the time, but they're not supposed to. Anyhow, and if they do, there should be complaints that you know how to file. But you don't know how to file because we all went to fucking slave school and they dumbed us the fuck down. We don't even know what the fucking words mean anymore, right? Bill of Attainder. Most of you didn't even know what a Bill of Attainder is, and maybe some of you still don't. You should probably look that up. You should probably read the Constitution a little bit, and any word in there that you think you know that has more than one syllable, you might look up just to be clear that you know every fucking word in there, right? If you want to be ignorant and free, you want what has never been and can never be. Simple as that. So the idea being is that you need to look up what the words mean, and they've dumbed you down on purpose. You didn't learn any of this shit in school, and Donnie isn't going to tell you either. Donnie wants you to sign up to be a United States person, a U.S. person. Donnie wants you to sign up to be the lowest form of life, the chattel property under the corporation, as a resident. Right? You got to be a resident, and you have to be. I'm not a resident. You have to be a U.S. person. Right? Donnie, not your friend. Donnie just doesn't want them to molest and rape you. Donnie is the chicken farmer who treats his chickens well, but he still takes the eggs and he still eats the hens that don't lay and any male roosters, because you only need one rooster. So I got a guy, every time he has chicks and the males hatch out, raises them up till they're nice and fat and delicious. And before they turn into the big, stringy, gamey rooster, they're about half grown, I'd say. They get slaughtered and they're eaten. And we just had one recently, and they're quite delicious when you prepare them right, if you like chicken. And I do. That's Donnie. The other guys, they don't clean the pen, they don't feed the chickens, they don't give them water. They could give a fuck if the chickens are getting eaten by foxes and other things. They don't give a shit, right? But Donnie, he want you be U.S. person. He want you be U.S. citizen, because they want fees, they want taxes, they want all these different licenses that you, right? But see, no more from me. The day that these motherfuckers came up to me, 3 of them with guns, and told me I had to put a mask on while I was sitting outside in the sun under a coconut tree, is the day that things started going south for them. The day that I was crossing the street in front of my fucking house, minding my own damn business, crossing the fucking street, and a cop cuts me off and tells me I got to put a mask on and starts harassing me and talking to me when he had no business fucking talking to the living individual that wasn't doing anything other than locomoting across the street. I was on foot, for fuck's sake. And he wanted to see an ID. All right. Now, sorry. It's like those movies. Like, I just watched the movie. I've been doing some, what's it called? A social, oh, there's a name for it that the homeschoolers use, where you watch movies so that your children aren't out of the loop when it comes to, like, you should watch Star Wars. You should watch Guardians of the Galaxy, or some of the other movies that are popular, just so Hunger Games, etc., just so that they're not socially awkward and they can join in the conversations. Because the average Muggle, that's what they do. They talk about movies and they talk about sports and shit like that. So anyway, I can't remember what it is, but basically socializing myself, because I hardly ever watch movies or media anymore. But holy crap, now that I can watch with new eyes, with eyes to see and ears to hear, they fucking tell us everything in the movies. They tell us how they're going to fuck us, and then they fuck us. And we don't get out of the way. So they consider it our fault. Anyhow, I was watching a couple of these movies. There's that one where they basically shoot his puppy and he just fucking goes off. And then there's the other one where he's just a regular old, turns out he's a badass FBI agent, but he was trying to get out of it, and he became, I can't remember the name of that movie either, but he was just a regular dad with a family, daughter and son. And he actually kind of got attached to the little girl, and they stole her bracelet. They stole her little rubber bracelet, and he just, that's what made him snap. Okay, what made me snap was them guys telling me to put a mask on, not once, but twice. And the one in front of my house when I was just fucking crossing the street. That's it. You guys get no more. I mean, one, you're going to pay me my fucking bonds. I'm going to figure out how to get those. I haven't got them yet, but I'm working on it. You're going to give me IDs that reflect the fact that I'm the living man. You're going to drag me into court. Great. I'm going to complain. We are now, and it looks like military is the way forward. United States Marines. And I'll read you in another video coming up, statement of facts and conclusions, wherein we basically go through the history that we weren't taught in school, of how it United States Corporation came to be the de facto ruling body over us, and they pretend to be de jure when they are not de jure. They are all, as I just started this video with, private corporations with DUNS numbers. So once you understand that, then you'll understand that every employee that works for these private corporations is bonded, and if they don't have a bond, they can't work for they cannot be an employee. It's as simple as that. It's not hard. So then you have to understand how to complain and how to go through the proper procedure and process to get these people. And see, there's criminal complaints. Kirk's Law Corner again talks about those criminal complaints. You can go there and look over and go to oh, yeah, let's do that also. Wait, let me find the YouTube channel. Him got great stuff on his YouTube channel. Let's see here. I have it. Yep, I have it. I'm a subscriber and I generally get notifications. All right, here's that. So yeah, here's videos you can watch. All right, that's just Kirk's Law Corner YouTube channel. There's others that I always put here, but that's the main one because basically, here's what I've discovered. And who is this? Who is the enemy, as it were? The enemy is the bar, the Esquires. They don't work for us. They aren't Americans. They might be employees of United States Corporation after 1871. Many of these bar members, and by the way, the bar, again, I showed you their DUNS number, private corporation, controlled by who? See, now here's the next thing. All right, so turns out the three crowns. I've talked about the three crowns before, the three things that are one thing, and the three things that are one thing, the Vatican, the City of London, and DC. It's one thing. It's three different things in three different, very diverse geographical locations, Italy, England, and United States. But it's all one fucking thing. And the bar works for the crown. If you're a member of the bar, either unwittingly or wittingly, you work for the fucking crown. You work for this thing. You work for this monster that is designed to extract wealth from you and me to the tune of trillions of dollars in this nation of ours of 325 million people or however many it is. They bonded everybody, and then they figured out that if they get rid of us and there's nobody to claim the bonds, and there's nobody to claim the bonds because most of you didn't know you were bonded. Everybody I've shown lately, they first start off with, I don't have a bond. And then they find out that, yes, in fact, they're bonded. You need the number on the bottom of your birth certificate, long form. There'll be red letters down there. The month that you were born, those numbers, you can put them into Treasury Direct. In my generation, it's Series E. You're either Series E, double E, or I, and you can find your bonds. Do not try to write stuff on those bonds. You'll get in trouble. You need to claim them first, and you need to open a Treasury Direct account and move those bonds into that account. And they won't without a fight. Anyhow, the point being is that this stuff isn't that difficult to learn. I have a friend now who is having difficulty due to the Rona thing and all the lockdowns, paying electricity and just, basics. Learn about accepting for value because they have bonds. That shit's supposed to be taken care of. You can go to stopthepirates.com and he talks about doing that. Radiant Clone on YouTube right here has a bunch of stuff from Patrick Devine that talks about how to do the acceptance for value. And you can hear women, and obviously from their intonation, you can tell some of these are Black women that have basically, what do the ones say? Yeah, this stuff works, right? You send the documentation in, you do it right. You let the COO of the municipal corporation, which is your electric company, right? Those are where do the municipal bonds come from? Anyway, these corporations that your electric company, water company, trash, usually waste management. And by the way, they're starting to claim your trash because they want to know what's in your trash because your trash will tell them everything about you, right? Because if it's in your trash, you bought it first, right? So, I mean, what kind of food you eat, what kind of toilet paper you use, what kind of, you know what I mean? Like every fucking thing is in your trash. The empty containers of whatever the fuck it is, what kind of everything. They want to know everything about you so that they can control you. not so they can market to you and make your internet experience that much better, but so that they have utter and complete control. And then what they're doing now is fucking with supply chains. I would very much recommend that you and yours get your disaster preparations together. Just like grandma, the house that I'm in here, there is food stored here, and there is food stored off-site also that you can get to. And now the only modification I would make here is make it so that the freezers run off of solar. We're in Hawaii, we can get away with that. But I mean, make a little building or a little thing that just has freezers in it. It's completely separated from everything else, and you have way more solar panels than you need and way more batteries than you need, so that you can keep those freezers frozen, for your deer meat or for your whatever, frozen items that you have. And it's not even part of your household. It's autonomous. The freezer stay cold, and you keep the stuff that you want frozen, and power goes out, clouds cover the sky. That's handled. And there's battery packs that'll back it up for 3-4 days if you need to. And if not, then a backup diesel generator also. Here on Maui, that's cool, right? That's vogue. I'm not going to mention any names, but I've stayed at various estates, and I've caretaken various estates for certain people where they're 100% off grid. The power didn't come from Maui Electric Company. Water didn't come from anything but catchment and a stream that was nearby. Sewer was taking care, all of it. They're completely 100% off grid. Nothing to do with the county, nothing to do with these private corporations, nothing to do with them. Not so easy to do. They've made it difficult, but can be done. But anyway, the idea being is that there on a couple of those systems, the freezers and refrigerators were part of the main house, and so now you got to choose between turning the lights on at night and using the internet and TV or whatever, and making sure that your refrigerators run, especially if it's rainy season. Okay, so if you have it as its own separate entity, that's not an issue. Anyhow, point being is that we're in for some interesting times. We have been born in interesting times, to say the least. As you can see, the axiom is deny and defend until the end. They're never going to admit that their mandates were ridiculous. They're never going to admit that there are large numbers and say, I can't talk about it because I'll get 86 because there's AI and my channel's flagged as it is. But you know what I'm talking about. And the fact is that they aren't going to quit just because they got busted for lying out their ass about every fucking thing. So what you have to do is separate yourself out by doing your paperwork. You need to declare yourself a man. You need to let certain corporations know that you have no contract with them. One of the main ones to notify is the Department of the Treasury, IRS. That's the first one to notify. And notice to agent is notice to principal. And you need to put that on your documents that if you've noticed an agent, you've noticed the principal. If you've noticed the principal, you should have noticed the agents. This shit works, my friends. Like I said, expired driver's license in the middle. There's no way I could have been there. They didn't even come say hi. They didn't even come over. And I mean, like I said, they didn't look at nothing. No engagement whatsoever. Like I said, I don't know what they were laughing about, but they laughed. They got back in their car and they drove away without ever so much as even tapping on my window. Nothing. They didn't come say boo. And I've been in a couple other situations that are, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But the bottom line is they have decided that they're not going to invite me back into their courts. Okay, why? Because I know what to say now. Okay, you need to learn what to say. And you need to let them know that that they know that you know what to say. It's as simple as that. You don't have to get crazy with all the oops. There it is. going through every bit of the stuff that's in these redemption manuals. You should be familiar. Definitely, there's good stuff in here. Absolutely. How to deal with like mortgage foreclosures, where to sign. Right? Don't sign on the left, sign on the right. Stuff about your bonds, proof of claims, etc. Yeah, good stuff to know. But the bottom line, my friends, is common law or contract. Do they have a contract? The answer is no. They don't have a valid contract. And if they can produce a contract, which they can't, but if you did, bam. So Phil knows exactly what I'm talking about. John Wick was the one, and Mr. Nobody was the other one. That's the name of the movie. Yes, fucking crack me up. Anyway, but see, that's the point, is that everybody has a breaking point. And see, we're getting to the point now too where many of your friends are getting to the breaking point because they realize that these, putting this thing is fucking stupid. If you can read the box, wait, hold on a second. I may crash things because when I open this thing up, because Facebook is so naughty. Let's get rid of this. Let's go back over here, and I'm just gonna go over here. Oh, and I also gave notice on Facebook that I know what I know. And all I did was, see, and I can't even read that here. Wearing an ear loop mask does not reduce the risk of contracting any disease or infection. That's right off the side of the fucking box. I didn't make that up. That's not conspiracy theory. That's off the side of the box. Warning, this product is an ear loop mask. They warn you that it's an ear loop mask. And see, I should have I had boxes of these, like there were pallets of them for a little while at Costco, and I should have just bought one box, just so I'd have the actual box, not have a picture of the actual box. It was better to, for show and tell rather than talk about the book, to actually be able to show you the book. But anyway, I'm reading off of the side of the fucking box. This product is not a respirator. No shit. And will not provide any protection against the words I can't use, or other viruses or contaminants. Let's see here. Wearing an ear loop mask does not reduce the risk of contracting any disease or infections. User is solely responsible for the selection. What? User is solely responsible for the selection of appropriate personal protective equipment for the setting and application. In other words, we take no responsibility, right? Change immediately if contaminated. Like, if you go into a fucking restroom and breathe a little bit, you just contaminated your mask, and now you got all kind of lovely bacteria and the entrails of other humans on your fucking face festering. I put that on my page, and lo and behold, not even a fact checker came up, because the fact checkers are now just being ridiculous, and they can't do it. The other thing is, this seems to be causing quite a bit of issue when it comes to heart inflammation and myocarditis and so on. See, we're learning all kind of new words. But myocardial infarction. I'll tell you, I have a friend who remained nameless, erstwhile friend, who thinks that this thing saved his life, because otherwise he wouldn't have gone to the doctor. Because after he did this, he started feeling ill and weak and sluggish. And they told him, you're fine. It's just, side effects, or, minor thing. Get some rest and you'll be fine. Well, the guy is into health and fitness, and which is why even more, what the fuck were you thinking? But anyway, decided to go get a second opinion. They did a few tests, 90% blockage. This is he's a lot younger than I am. 90% blockage in his heart. And he's like, oh, good thing I got that shot. Or I never would have known I had 90. No, more than likely it was this that caused that, but they're not smart enough to figure this shit out. Yes, absolutely. Positively. So you just don't contract with the corporation. Don't contract with the other corporations. So yeah. And see, that's what I mean. You're going to have to rearrange your thinking into understanding that you are a free man. You are a man or a woman. You're not a corporate entity. They gave you a name. They gave you a DBA. They gave you a title case name. They gave you an all uppercase name. They write bonds on them all the time. And they presume that you are a sumsit and that you have contracts with these other corporations. See, United States corporation cannot deprive you of your right to free speech, for example. But they can get another private corporation, such as Facebook or YouTube or some other place, to deprive you of your rights of freedom of speech. And they'll try and justify it by talking about statutes. Okay. No, you don't get to violate any of those constitutional rights. Well, and see, the rights that are outlined in the Constitution, those aren't, people say, "Oh, I've got my constitutional rights." Those are not constitutional rights. The Constitution just delineates a very few, scotch, a tiny bit, manini, not many, of your rights. Your rights are innumerable. But you cannot have your right if you cannot elucidate the right, if you cannot speak the right, if you cannot, what's the word you want? Jurisdiction. If you cannot speak the law and if you cannot speak the right, you can't have the right. Simple as that. If you cannot pronounce comma eine discount, you cannot have a comma eine discount. Simple as that. As great, because I see signs out toward Hana all the time that say, you can't pronounce it, you can't have it. Because people want Kamina discounts. There is no Kamina discount. Anyway, the point being is that if you cannot elucidate the thought, if you cannot elucidate the right, you don't have the right. You cannot make claim to it. And so they made damn sure that we didn't know our rights, that we never got in school, even basic constitutional rights, certainly not civil rights. And civil rights, I don't have, civil rights are great and everything, but I have unalienable rights that were given to me by God. Some of those can be elucidated as civil rights. Others can be constitutional rights. Others can be whatever rights you want to call them. But the bottom line is men and women have rights. You have the right to travel. You have the right to locomote. Those cannot be licensed. They may not license the common law, and the right to practice law is not a licensable thing. They try to make you think it is, but the right to be able to represent, and actually not even represent, to present yourself, to come to court if you need to, cannot be abridged, abrogated. They cannot tell you that you can't practice law. They can't tell you that you can't be in the courts and do lawful things, legal business, and that you need to have a license. Bullshit. Secondly, it's the bar. The members of the bar that have become governors, the members of the bar who is trying to, and see, there's another thing I can't talk about. That thing that happened with this other guy and this other guy, and they were supposed to be the president of the corporation. There was some fraud there. Who went down to try and mitigate or stop the, see, I can't use English words here because the AI will pick it up. But anyway, bar attorneys, hundreds of them trying to be involved. Whenever it's corporations, who is the ones that if they wrong you or harm you or defame you or whatever it is, who are the ones that wind up trying to stop or make it so that they don't have to pay you? Those are bar attorneys. They attorney you. And if you can't afford one, they'll give you one for free. That should be a clue right there. All right. In the beginning, in this country, the 13th Amendment and 14th Amendment basically said, no bar, bro. Right? We don't want these guys that are part of the crown or represent the crown, employees of the crown, agents of the crown in our country doing the things that they're doing right now. And they put us to sleep and we forgot about it. And now they're governors, they're mayors, they're heads of corporations. They're certainly in the legal departments of every corporation. And they're not your friend. And they are used to extract wealth from you in every way, shape, and form. Right? Cultural awareness, that's what it was. Social awareness, that was the term that I was looking for when I was talking about watching a few of these movies. And like I said, Once you get to the point where you have eyes to see and ears to hear, you'll notice that people like Ariana Grande might be a little more clever than she lets on. You'll notice, and it's funny, there was a great, and I can't find, it's gone, like it disappeared. I can't find it on BitChute. I can't find it on anywhere, Odyssey, Rumble. There was a great one that talked about the Boule and who they are and what that is. And that's basically the Black Masons, the dark-skinned African Masons who come through the various three-letter fraternities and sororities and help to, they are non-different from their masters except in color. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, these guys are them, even though they're actors and comedians and so on. Hey,
Enjoy yourself.
Okay, so I'll call you back Bombay then.
I'm eating curry.
Oh, excellent. Okay, talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Sorry. Okay.
Have we got?
More stuff. I think I went through pretty much all the things that all the stuff that I wanted to go through. Oh, I already read you letters that you can, just let them know. First people to let know: IRS, State Department, state and federal, Attorney General, state and federal. Hey, I'm a man. Hey, animal contract with you guys. Common law or contract. If you think I have a contract, present it. We can either go over it and say, I'm rescinding that signature, which I have, or revoking my power of attorney, which I have absolutely authority and right to do. You can revoke your power of attorney from any fucking buddy at any fucking time for any fucking reason. Period. And you don't even have to give a reason. Same thing, rescinding signature. If that signature abrogates rights or is presumed to waive a right, no. I claim all my rights. Not some of them, not a few of them, not the ones that are convenient, all of them. I never did. See, now here's the thing. Another thing they try to get you to do as a sovereign citizen or as a patriot, P-A-Y, is to try and get you to, what's the word I want? Not rescind, but, try and get you to say that you were part of the corporation, that you're expatriating from the corporation. No. I can't expatriate from a place I never was. Right? I can't expatriate from France. I was never in France. I can't expatriate from Spain. I was never fucking in Spain. I can't expatriate from Britain. I was never in Britain. Never there. I was never in United States. I didn't know that I was in United States. I thought I was in the Republic, United States of America. I didn't know that I was in United States Corporation. And I'm not in United States Corporation. And the only way I could possibly be part of United States Corporation is through sophistry, fraud, trickery, deceit, non-disclosure, fraudulent concealment, etc. Right? So no, I'm not fucking expatriating. I was never there. And you guys presumed that I was there because you got me to sign documents that I didn't understand because you gave me an education that was shit. And that shit education was designed to confuse, obfuscate, and basically make it so that I didn't know what the fuck was going on when I signed certain documents that said I was a resident or a U.S. person, or that I wanted to vote in and be represented by this representative form of government that you guys call the United States Corporation. I thought I was a member of the Republic. I thought I was a free man. I thought a lot of things that turned out to be not true. Right? Well, I'm making them true by writing certain things down on pieces of paper. All right. So one more time. This is happening. Here's an excuse to come to Maui. This is happening. And if you want more, these guys in Austin are making an excuse to come to Maui. Great. Come to Maui. It's a lovely place. I'm going to enjoy them trying to put masks on these guys. That'll be fun. Anyway, so this is happening. I will try and get a link to this and put it below this video or someplace so that you can get it. And then bottom line is, if you can't come, and you know it's going to be a little difficult. One, ain't no cars on this island. I know lots of people because they put all the freaking rent-a-car companies, well, not all of them, but many of the rent-a-car companies out of business. And they shipped a lot of the cars off the island. So literally no rent-a-cars. So there are a lot of people using, what is it, Tour, to rent their vehicles. I know this one woman, she plans on making $6,000 off of her Jeep. It's booked solid for the month of August. She already made like $2,000 or $3,000. Used the $2,000 or $3,000 to buy like this little shit car like Malibu Pugsley, right? A Maui Cruiser, because on Maui you can get away with driving a Maui Cruiser and nobody really judges you. And then she rented her nice brand new shiny 2019 Jeep out for $6,000. If she can do that again, she'll have the thing paid off in like 3 months, right? Because she's just had it since 2019. Anyway, so she's gonna basically have a free car, and it already bought her another car. So getting a car on Maui, not so easy. Accommodations also, if you know, a little pricey here on Maui. But you know, if you can make it, come, enjoy yourself. It will be fun. You come in person. It's always better in person. And it's going to be, you know, you probably can't do all of them because what do we got? We got August 28th and 29th. That's the end of next month. And then September 3 to 5, and then September 6th, and then September 11, 20. So basically it's, you know, 2-week vacation from the end of August to the middle of September. There's going to be a lot of people there. And a lot of people telling you or showing you how to do like accept for value, make your declarations, get your proper IDs, etc., all in one place, all at one time. Give you the history that you didn't know when it came to the corporation that is United States, and what happened in 1861 and 1871, and why it is the corporation doesn't recognize certain Supreme Court decisions, and why, on and on. So anyway, these guys will be here basically, and I think it's going to be like $375 to get all of the repeats. And these are like all day seminars, not like 1 hour at a time, right? It's like, so for $375, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, I don't think it's all fleshed out 100%, but you'll get seminars from 4 or 5 of these different people. And that's not necessarily Patriot, because it's going to cost money to record. You know, they got to get the rooms together. They got to get the camera and the lighting. They're going to have people that are, you know, it's going to be, I don't know how professional, but more professional than this. Let's put it that way. And they'll have, you know, course materials and paperwork and stuff and sites and, you know, A to Z, because what we basically need is more people that understand these basics, because the old corporation that has been ruling us and extracting money from us for 150 years, you know, since the Civil War, basically, is going bye-bye, and we're returning to common law. Donnie himself said that out loud. I would highly recommend you take a listen to the Turning Point. Don't listen to what they told you he said. Don't read the articles. It's like an hour and 41 minutes. Listen to Donnie speak with his own mouth, in his own words, in his own Donnie way, doing this. My favorite thing. Is that a cue? I think that's a cue. That might be a cue. That might be him making cues. But anyway, listen to what Donnie has to say. He's telling you that they're restoring the republic, more or less. We're going back to the common law. And if you're going to do that, you're going to have to know a few things. He also talks about the fact that you might need to understand that is a choice, and you need to make a choice. And a lot of stuff I want to say about that, I can't say, but let's just say many people who decided to do that have basically signed their death warrant. And you and I wouldn't have, like I said, I hate a lot of these people. Like, I can't stand them. They're just virtue signaling, fucktardian assholes. But I wouldn't have killed them. I wouldn't have fucking killed them. They're killing themselves. And I've talked to a couple of my friends who are exceptionally wealthy. There's a couple of people on this island that are very well off, let's say. Missionaries, they came to do good, and they wound up doing very, very well. Several of them have passed just recently, and I've been to a couple of rather large funerals and run into some of the old money, let's say. And I'm amazed that many of those people have opted to do this. I'm amazed. And what are you gonna do? See, and this is the thing. They're getting rid of the quote unquote the worst of them, the most virtue signaling, the most liberal, the Democrat dorks. They you don't have to shoot them. I don't have to shoot them. None of us. There don't have to be any shooting. This is a polite, civilized society. They chose to, and they're going to be out soon. That's not conspiracy theory. And then there's a number of 45,000 floating around on social media. It's oh so much more than that. 45,000 is almost like gatekeeping to make you think. Because I mean, 45,000 in a nation of 350 million is nothing when you get right down to it. I mean, do it as a percent, right? Out of 100 million, 1 million is 1%. So 350 million, and this is only 45,000. You have just, it's minuscule. It's what they're admitting to. It's much, much, much more than that. And I have data from Deagle. I finally got on that site and dug around and had a friend that has the ability to go places on that site that maybe regular people don't have. And they're talking about going from the number that they used. Oh, wait, I can, rather than spitball it, I can actually tell you. Hold on a second here, because I can look at it. Let's see here. Really? Is it not there? All right, I'm sorry. Oh, nope, there it is. Yes. All right, so the numbers that they had were in 2013, they said that we had 316 million in the United States, and they forecast in 2025 to only be 69 million. That used to say it's 99 million. Now they're down to 69 million. That's right off of Deagle. That's not me making numbers up. That's what I mean. I went to go find it so I can read it properly. Can you do the math? I fucked around with subtraction. Go get my book. Supremely Simple Subtraction, by the way, is now on Amazon. Yeah, I'm making money for Jeff, but I don't give a shit. That's the main place that people go to look for books still. So one of my books is up there. I believe you can get it for free if you've got the Kindle thing. And you can take a look at, oh no, wait, it's not Supremely Simple Subtraction that's up there. It's Divinely Dandy Non-Difficult Division that's up there. The subtraction book is coming. But anyway, the point being is that from 360 to 69 million, that's a lot of millions of people that they're expecting to go away. And the way they make them go away is because, and they're not admitting it. Well, actually, they're admitting it. Even when they're admitting it, they're lying. I'll just read this to you. So this comes from Ken Dillian. It's a tweet from him at NBC. New data suggests that fully injected individuals are not just contracting Rona, but could be carrying higher levels of Rona than previously understood. So I got to censor my mouth so that the AI doesn't pick it up. Facilitating spread. My NBC News colleagues are reporting new indoor masking guidance expected today. Yeah, more bullshit from the bullshitters. So basically what they're saying is, we can't believe anything you or the government has been telling us. Yes, that would be the case. Basically, it's complete bullshit. What they did with this thing that they got you, or well, probably not this crew, but they got some of your friends, relatives, and family to do to themselves, and you ask them, what's your favorite ingredient? What's the ingredient that you think is going to keep you the most safe? They don't even fucking know what's in it. That's how dumbed down they are. They just trust these guys. Anyhow, the point is that they are basically doing a culling here. It should be pretty clear that they're doing a culling here. And even when they tell you that they're lying, they lie about lying. I mean, bottom line is you have 12, 24, 36 months maximum if you decided that this was going to be a good idea. Because what that thing that they injected themselves with does is tell your cells to create, and it's actually a feat of engineering. When you get right down to it, it's pretty amazing. Microengineering, where they made a spike protein. Oh, go look at the, I can't do it here because I don't have the ability to share screen and stuff. And I'm not using a screencaster at the moment, but go look at the, crap. No, I can't remember. They're Jesuits. There you go. Go look at the Jesuit Brotherhoods and their logo, as it were. I think you'll see the spike protein there. I think you'll see the 3 spikes. There's a reason why it's 3 spikes. And what they've done is reprogrammed you to generate those spikes. Simple as that. Anyway. Awesome. All right. Yeah, it's interesting that people are finding each other now, and that somehow I've seen this more than one. I've actually heard it from people. It's like, I haven't seen a video from you forever, and then all of a sudden I saw a video from you, and you've gone way off the deep end, to say the least. But like I said, go back and watch this thing at 2 times speed. The stories are true. Once you get your shit together, see, and I don't want to be blacklisted. I don't want to be dangerous. I want to be green listed. I want to be the kind of guy where they say, hey, can I see some identification? And I hand them the thing. They call it in and they hand it back to me and say, have a nice day, because they decided that it's a bad idea to fuck with this guy, because this guy could have me looking for work the next day because he could tap my bonds. And by the way, the courts don't want him to be in their courts. So don't offer him a contract. And see, I figured out that those aren't citations. Those are contracts. Those are invitations to contract. And if you sign the thing, you have decided that, yes, you're a defendant and you will contract. You've told them in no uncertain terms with your signature. When you use a red pen and write no contract and stamp the thing with your stamp that says UCC 1308 without prejudice, they know that you don't want a contract, you don't have a contract, and that you probably aren't going to be the muggle that they can get to not know his name. Because see, what these indemnity companies do, what these bonding companies do, these surety companies that write the bonds for these limited liability companies that have the DUNS numbers that I put up here. Here, I'll put them up again. Actually, I don't need to, but wait, what'd I do with them? Not there, not there, not there. Oops, not there. Not there. Right there. I bought lots of stuff for show and tell today. There you go. All these companies, they're all limited liability corporations. All their employees have bonds. Every single one of them. And oh, the numbers mean something. If you take a look, this isn't in any particular order, but if you take a look at the numbers, there's gematria here. And these are all 9-digit numbers, as you notice. But anyway, all of these are limited liability companies with which you have no contract. And what the limited liability insurer is betting on is that you don't know your fucking name, muggle, you're slave. You don't know your name, right? When they asked me, would you leave the court for $20? Right? That was a couple. See, I've managed to start figuring out how this works. And it's been an interesting journey in Odyssey. And I've gotten better every time. And I've seen this with other people too that call it, a ministry, where they try to go and they drive around with no license plate and no license, and they go around teaching various people in various states about the concept of free men and so on. Not sovereign citizens, but just living men and women. Not living individuals, but men and women. They bet that I didn't know my name and that I'd take the $20. And they bet correctly, because I took the $20, left their court. Because I had seen that day people with the same violations as me getting $400 fines and so on, and $200 fines. And I had a pile of them because I was like expired driver's license. And see, dumbass, what did I do? I went and re-upped it, which renewed my contract. what else was that? So that, that was 7 years ago, because that license that since I have re-upped it that one has expired. So it's been I don't remember what it is in Hawaii, but I believe it's 7 years that your driver's license is good for, because it's a bond and they keep paying you and you keep right. And they can only do the contract, or maybe it's 5 years, but these bonds only last for a certain amount of time and you have to renew. And then they get interest on the interest of the fees and so forth that you use to get those licenses. And it's a total fucking racket. Let's start looking into it. But anyway, the bottom line is I went in there and they bet me $20. They didn't say that, but I mean, that's what they were doing, is that I didn't know my name. Because if I would have known my name and I would have known how to stand on my rights, they never would have extracted a fucking penny out of me, because I have the right to travel. I have the right to locomote. They can't license this right. And I didn't know how to elucidate it appropriately. Further, I didn't know how to say that I was appearing specially, not generally, and I wasn't subject to their jurisdiction, and that I didn't understand all the things that were there, because I didn't understand them. I just pretended to understand them, and I did not object, and I didn't know how to not agree tacitly. Silence agrees. If you don't object, you're agreeing, obviously. So now that I know what to say, and that I've sat and listened to numerous people that have trial by fire, been in court and gotten out of there. And the idea is don't go into court in the first place. And you have a right to do it by mail, by the way, if you know what to say and how to demand that. But the idea is that most of the muggles, myself included, did not know, don't even know their fucking name. So if you don't know your name, and that's one of the legal maxims that I put there. Go up there to the Kirk's Law Corner that I put in there and read the maxims. If you would want to know the nature of a thing, inquire into the name of the thing. I have inquired into the names of these things and found that these names come with numbers. And those numbers are DUNS numbers that tell you that these are all private corporations. And not only are they private corporations, they are not for profit. Well, they're supposed to be not for profit, non-taxable government entities, and what they are is for profit, completely taxable, bond writing, de facto entities that are private corporations. They are not government entities. They are not part of the republic. They are private corporations that administer our estates for us. And you can administer your own estate, but you got to claim the thing first, and you have to realize that you have an estate to claim in the first place. Taj Tariq Bey talks about this on more than one video. Here, let me go drag into this. I'll just show you a few of my notes. And like I said, compare and contrast my notes compared to this lady's notes, who are, she writes in beautiful cursive writing. And here are just a few. And this is just a few. I have a full-on folder that's a lot thicker than this. But there's some notes. And this talks about stare decisis and res judicata, the Roman unum curio sanctum, the wigs. There ain't nothing but wigs. There are either cotton wigs or conscious wigs. We've talked about this before. Those are wigs. We now call them Democrats and Republicans. Neither one of them are your friends. Neither one of them are going to tell you about how to get unbonded, or how to claim your bonds, how to claim your rights, how to become the living man or woman on paper through declarations. Let's see here. They're not going to tell you about law, land, air, water. Land, common law. Air, that's the ecclesiastical law. Water, that's the admiralty. We gave them admiralty and they brought it onto the land. And again, the lowest form, the stupidest way to interpret the Bible, and I didn't bring one of those. Are you kidding? There's not a Bible within reach around here? No, there's not. All right. Anyway, but that book right there that we call the Bible, the lowest form of interpretation is the literal form of interpretation. Those are metaphors and stories to get you to get out from under the horror of Babylon. And they used the metaphors of the day. And obviously the metaphors of that day, we live in a completely different civilization than at the time that book was written. So you have to know a few things about how they lived and so on. It's like little children now. If you give them a phone with a dial on it, they don't even know how to use the thing. They can't make a phone call with that. They have no idea how to pick the thing up and use a telephone that we took for granted. All right. They are all using smartphones and contraptions that they can hold in their hands that are computers. Okay. So it's the same thing. Now that they're there, if we use all the metaphors for the phone and, one thin dime won't even shine your shoes. What does that mean? Well, that has a connotation that you can make a dime with a phone call. Excuse me, you can make a phone call with a dime, but you can't use it. I mean, it's not even enough to shine your shoes anymore. But do you remember when a phone call used to be a dime? Some of you are old enough. I remember, I'm so old, I remember when you could get on an airplane without flashing any form of ID. You just gave them a ticket and got on, just like a bus. If you had a ticket, you got on the plane. In fact, on Maui, we used to have this thing called the Maui Bulletin, and the Maui Bulletin used to be like a marketplace for all these tourists that would come here and fall in love with Maui and not want to go home. So they would sell their tickets for super cheap because once the ticket expired, you couldn't renew the ticket, right? Yeah, I mean, most of the time they were non-refundable. So they would sell the ticket and you could buy a ticket from, and I did this on more than one occasion where I flew to the mainland or flew to California or Los Angeles, because California was the most common destination, LAX. And I bought the ticket from this chick for like $95, right? One way to LA, because, and, back then it was like probably $400 or 300 and something dollars to go one way. And she sold it to me for $95 because she wanted to get rid of it. And anyway, did I need to show an ID? I did not need to show an ID. I had a freaking ticket. Didn't matter who purchased the ticket. I had the ticket. Now, for your safety, and because you're too ignorant to read the fucking Communist Manifesto, and the first thing in the Communist Manifesto, one of the things in the 10 planks is get control of the fucking ports. So they have absolute control of our ports now, don't they? You cannot go into, they search your shit. Fourth Amendment is out the window. I remember when they first put that in, when they asked you, oh, can I search your bags? And of course you would say yes. And if you said no, they might send you to the side and hold you for a little while. But the bottom line is they used to ask you if they could search your bags. Now they just fucking search your bags, right? Now they just make you show an ID. Now you can't lock your bags. I have some luggage here that actually still has the locks on them, right? Because you used to be able to lock your bags so that, right? But no, now they get to rifle through your shit, right? Just in degrees. My son doesn't know anything. My son has never traveled without having to show an ID, right? I have. I got here. Now I can't get off this island without showing an ID. But there are certain laws, lovely enough that, or fortunately enough that they cannot force you to spend money to leave a port. They cannot. What is it? They cannot impose the duty to leave a port. Anyway. And this was me fooling around with the Zodiac. Just like fast. Your subconscious mind will pick up a lot of this. This is obviously one from Taj Tariq Bey. Notes from his thing. Oops. And see, I look at these now and they have little drawings and pictures on them and I know exactly what I'm looking for. So when I'm looking for something, I can find it easily because I put little, right? Or like this one. Obviously, this is all about notice. Right? And like I said, the devil himself gives notice. So all things start with notice. And then once you give the notice, 30 days goes by. Excuse me, I gave you notice. You never responded. I'm sure this is not any fault of your own. Here's the notice again, and you are now in default. And then you give it to them the third time. And so you can shorten this down. Instead of 90 days, you can do it in 30 days or whatever. And see, we're going, well, not we, this other guy, is going through the United States District Court for the state of Hawaii and finding out that, yeah, fully compromised. They just wrote bonds on him and did all kind of horse hockey and tried to make him think. It's called simulation of due process. It's not due process. It's simulation of process. There's that, right? And this, again, this is hours and hours of video talking about. And see, this is, I think, what I'm going to actually go for. I'm going to go with El Ben Hosea. El Ben Hosea. A little bit about silver. Again, you got to object. But see, I look these things over and I see, oh, You know, the state constitutions, you ought to know, like the Hawaii state constitution is not like the other state constitutions because it's based on kingdom law. So you got to know a little bit more about the state of Hawaii and understanding that the Hawaii state constitution, again, is there to protect your unalienable rights. That's it. Didn't give you any rights, didn't give you anything. It's to protect the rights you already have from your creator, from other men and women who would try to take money from you unlawfully or bond you, and it basically boils down to human trafficking. Oh, I should read that to you and then call it a day. Look at this. We're going on 2 hours. Look, it's going to be short. Oh, yeah. Infringement of trade name. Right. Oh, and then some of the questions you might want to ask. You've heard this from me before. Who claimed my property? Who can administer my estate without right? Who can produce obligation or contract upon which you rely to administer my estate? Anybody? Can you point to the person involved? Can somebody point to the state of Hawaii? Can somebody point to the state of Texas? Oh, I'm the representative for the state. Legal maxims say that you can't represent another. Okay. So you got to learn some law. Again, if you want to be ignorant and free, you want what never was and never can be. Let me read one other thing to you. Because it's great. It boils down to human trafficking. They're trafficking us. They are traffickers of flesh. They are numberers of flesh. All these corporations have names and numbers. You also, as a corporate person, have names and numbers attached to you. You didn't make up those numbers. They gave them to you. The numbers on my birth certificate and my bonds, I didn't make those numbers up. They were given to me. Let's see if I can read this in this light. I don't know how this guy gets anything fucking done in this light. It's hard on your eyes. Let's see. I love it. And you can tell it's a woman because it smells like her. Let's see here. All right. Oh, manta.com. There you go. Let's talk about them for a second. manta.com is a website for obtaining data on companies. If the names of any of the government entities are entered, you will find that virtually all of them are listed as private, for-profit corporations. You will also, in the aggregate valuations of their assets that manta.com provides is vastly greater than what is listed in these private government companies' fraudulent but well publicized budget costs and their nested tax base extortion rackets. Let's see here. This confirms that many hundreds of trillions, not billions, but trillions of dollars of people's money listed in semi-secret government. Man, like I said, how can I read them in this light? Comprehensive annual financial reports and government institutions are being siphoned off by the global banking cartel and the forces behind it. They're doing this via that obscure subsidiary of the private for-profit Federal Reserve System known as the Depository Trust Clearing Center, right? The DTCC that you've heard so much about, the Depository Trust Clearing Center, which is a semi-secret entity fraudulently confiscating these investment funds as an example. I don't know, can I read them? I'm going to have to type this out and read it to you because 1, it's in cursive, and 2, light in here, and 3, my eyesight is terrible. But basically what this boils down to is trafficking of humans on a grand scale. Just because they're not kidnapping you and raping you and turning you into adrenochrome doesn't mean that you're not being trafficked. And I can't find the actual documents. But anyway, these are all the private corporations that are doing naughty stuff and turning you into, the doing business as title case name, and then writing bonds on you. And then now that your bonds have matured, getting rid of you. Because why would they want to pay those bonds? Why would they want you to have the bonds when they could just steal them from you? Simple as that. Oh, here's something fun. Let's see. In checking Dunn's code numbers for governments, you will find that they have many subsidiaries and shell corporations to lessen financial accountability. You will find that some of them are listed as being in a geographical location other than their territorial authority, making their operations even more suspicious. The City of Chicago Corporation, for example, is located in Washington, D.C. The State of Montana Corporation is located in Chicago, Illinois. And the State of Maine Corporation, listed with seemingly sardonic humor as State O' Maine, Inc., is located in New York City, New York. You will often also see executive, legislative, and judicial offices themselves listed as corporations. Obviously. And like I said, we got their DUNS numbers now. It's no longer conspiracy theory. We have their freaking DUNS numbers. Oops. The U.S. District Court of Hawaii, their DUNS number is 012-648-395. That's a corporation. Sounds all official, though. U.S. District Court of Hawaii. Same thing. The judiciary courts of the state of Hawaii, they have a DUNS number. All right. Why they got DUNS numbers? Because they're private corporations. All right. Let's see here. We're going to type this out nicely because this woman took excellent notes. Let's see here. All right, I'll read this paragraph. This explains why the people of the world are soon going to see sweeping constitutionally based legal and lawful enforcement actions in all of the nations of the world against those who unrepentantly abuse these ill-gotten gains and have perpetuated crimes against nature and humanity. This also explains the honest transitional governments and financial systems that are going to be installed. This is, what's his name? What's the guy's name? He always comes with the most insane stuff, and he's always like, shoot, his name is not coming up. Yeah, I can't remember his name. But anyway, he's always talking about how there's going to be a new financial system installed. And there is. And the Great Reset is not going to go off the way the bad guys want. Let's see here. Oh, there was a great paragraph about how this basically constitutes, all these bonds constitute human trafficking. And I can't find that at the moment. But anyway, point being is that we have many minds looking at this now, and no one person can do it. So we have right here, here's 5 of them. putting a thing together. And this thing is 100% to educate you. Because again, we can't do this with an uneducated muggle populace that just wants to shoot things up and kill all the bad guys and so on. What we need is educated men and women who know how to stand on their rights, who know what paperwork to file, who understand endorsements and how to endorse signatures, understand contracts and contract law, understand the elements of contract, understand the elements of affidavit. Oh, shoot. I'm not going to grab. Know how to use these things. Right, where you send certified mail to various people, understand the process, the administrative process, wherein you do those three things, right? Where you give notice, and then when they default, you give them a notice of default with an opportunity to cure. And then when they don't cure after their notice of default with opportunity to cure, you give them a verified notice of default. And then you know what to do with that verified notice of default, wherein you take it into a court and get that notice perfected so that you can show that they've defaulted. And now you can make claims against them, against their bonds. Now you can do those things. All right. I've gone on for 2 hours. It's enough of that already. And let's see here. There you go. Always the case. But see, that's a better thing to do. I think what you most people do is some people like to be going along live with it and, you know, write comments over here on the side. And this time, actually, not too many comments. Good. And other people just, you know, they like to watch it as it's being done. Others, and this is what I recommend, go back and after the live stream is done, put it on 2x speed and watch the whole thing. And now instead of it taking you 2 hours, it'll take you 1 hour. I do this with X22 Report and SGT and Greg Hunter and many of the different interviews. Bix Weir. Oh, speaking of that, Theta. Find out more about Theta. Go find out about Theta, T-Fuel and Theta. It's going to be huge. And then the other one I talk about is Safe Moon, which is just, for me, it's a lark. I got involved super early, and now I just sit back and let's see what happens in 2-3 years. Don't expect anything out of that anytime soon. But Theta's about to go kaboom. So learn about Theta and T-Fuel. It's basically what's going to power the internet. And also, one of the things I found about Theta is that Theta is a crypto that the DNS, the denial of service, that people get when they're trying to take websites down, because of the decentralized aspect of Theta and their software, making it so that you're basically sharing broadband across many, many different computers. It makes it so that DNS can't happen. So if you want your website up 24/7, 365, if you use Theta and their technology, that can happen, whether you have a popular opinion or not. Because a lot of the bad guys and good guys use DNS to knock websites down, right? Or they just hit it with so many requests that the servers finally fail. And it's the other thing, you've seen this happen sometimes when something comes out that everybody wants to see, like whether it's Trump or whatever it was, and everybody goes there and it crashes, or it's so popular that the servers can't handle it. Well, if you use Theta technology, that won't happen. Anyway, find out about Theta. It's like $6 right now. You can't lose. Well, you can, because I know a lot of people, myself included, I put more money in when it was like $14, and now I'm down by more than half. But I'm not worried because I don't need the money next Friday or anything. And I can't make. I mean, it's spitballing and predictions. It could be anything, but I'm gonna say probably November, December. The price will be a lot more than $6. In fact, probably September, October, the price will be a lot more than $6. And certainly this time next year, and this time, say 2 years from now. So we're talking about, just let's say August. It's not August yet. It's close to August, but what is the date today? We are Thursday, the 29th day of July, 2021. by August 1st, 2023, Theta is going to be worth a whole lot more than $6. Simple as that. Okay, Crime Stoppers, get on after it. Like I said, learn this stuff. Stay tuned for more information about this, or just go over to the, you don't have to stay tuned to me, the austinmeetinggroup.com, and there'll be updates, and you can probably download this flyer, and maybe it's an excuse for you to come to Hawaii, Maui in particular, at the end of next month, 28th through the 12th, basically is what that is. So, spend 2 weeks on Maui, having a good time. And you guys could get together and, rent a condo. That's a cheap way to do things, where you get a 2 or 3 bedroom condo and put like 10 people in there. Husbands and wives usually get bedrooms, and then the single guys get the living room and so on. Anyway, I've done vacations like that. They're usually amusing. That was back when much drinking was involved. But anyway, the idea being is that you can get out here for cheap. The only problem is going to be transpo, because renting a van or something like that is going to be stupid, because these corporations destroyed other corporations that used to rent cars to tourists. But that's going to be something that's going to be worth your time. And if you can't make it, find out about being able to download it and, get the course material and videos and so forth. And I'm very confident this will be worth your time. What you get from me is free. And, I do the roundabout stream of consciousness, jump around from topic to topic videos. Hopefully you find amusing and can keep up and get good information out of them, and get some understanding of the situation that we're in, and take some action yourself, and at least get pointed in the right direction, so you can start doing some research and and do your own information. But the idea is act on your own information. But the idea is armor up with the armor of God, which is just knowledge. Figure out what to say and who to say it to, and then go ahead and say it. And you don't have to do it on verbally in a court of law. You can write these things down. Okay. I think that does it for me. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for the subscriptions. Thanks everybody that does Patreon. I constantly get emails from people saying that I should mention Patreon more often, or whatever other ways I take money. PayPal. Go buy my book on Amazon. They're simple as that. $99.99. That would be great. And somebody go make a freaking testimonial. Give me 5 stars or whatever, and a brief testimonial. That helps immensely. If you've and that's just go look for Divinely Dandy non-difficult division on Amazon, and then you get something for your donation. But I think I'm up to like $48 or something on Patreon. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And also, like I said, all the likes and all the shares, and I occasionally find these videos in odd places on the internet. So those of you that put the link in various groups or Reddit or wherever the hell it is, I appreciate you. But yeah, we got to get the information out. People need to understand what's coming, and get prepared for it. I've spent hours and hours. Oh, here's a link I should give you before I sign off. Hold on just a second. Let's see here. Let's go. This is just a fun little thing I put together, which is THG's post-apocalyptic iHub paradise. And all it is links to all manner of fun stuff that I did. And you can see that's moribund. I don't think I haven't posted on this thing for, well, actually, yeah. 7/7/19, and then I just did one 6/25/21. But other than that, it's not getting posted on. I used to post quite a bit on this. But anyway, you can see what I'm talking about by clicking this link right here. Let me put it on the page. But this is just, prepping and survival and supplies and, people that have gone through collapses and various problems. And also just never mind all of that. What about just weather? What about just snow? What about just rain, floods, natural disasters? You should have grab and go bag, and you should have food. handy, just in case. Because what if the store doesn't have food? What if the barges don't come? What if the muggles don't, have wound up killing themselves to the point where there's nobody to fly the airplanes or drive the boats or load or unload the ships that make produce move? Also, there's the possibility of credit collapse. That's also a big possibility. Anyway, just prepare. If you got some silver, you got some crypto, you got some cash, some actual Federal Reserve notes, you got some food, because you can't eat cash, crypto, or silver, but you can eat food. And if we're wrong, just eat the damn food. Oh, wait, here, I can show you this. I'll be gone for just a second. Boom. Uh-oh. My computer fell down. Where my computer fall down? That's bad. All right. Anyway. Oh, there it is. All right. Simple. Get a few of these. They last like 25 years. So, and like I said, this one right here, I never tried one of these that wasn't delicious. I mean, every damn one of them was tasty. So anyway, get a few of these. Plus, there's Patriot food banks. There's all kind of stuff. Simple, easy, fast way. And then don't forget about water. Water, hugely important. All right. I don't know why my computer fell down. That's lame. And now it's making noise, of course, because it just fell on the floor. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. E pluribus unum, Crime Stoppers. Talk to you later.